A very good afternoon. You're watching News X and I'm Shivani Singh. We are tracking the latest developments regarding the war in West Asia and its implications across the globe. And in the latest developments, Iran's Army Chief Abdolrahim Hatami has said that no enemy troops should survive the ground attack in Iran. Now, state media have shared footage showing the commander holding a video call with operational headquarters. Hatami was quoted as saying, and I quote here, "If the enemy launches a ground operation, not a single one of them should come out alive." He said that commanders should track enemy movements and actions with the utmost pessimism and accuracy and execute response plans at the appropriate time. Joining us on this broadcast to discuss the various developments from the war front, Group Captain Vianja, who's a defense expert, and Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, who's a foreign affairs expert. I thank you both for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. We always appreciate it. If I can start off this discussion with Group Captain Jha. Sir, we have seen a major announcement by US President Donald Trump today. He said that the US looks to exit the war in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, he has not revealed all his cards, sir. He has not stated if there will be a ground invasion. He has not stated if the US will in fact, collaborate with any other allies in the Gulf and take action. But what he's mentioned is that he'll obliterate Iran. He will make sure that the country goes back to the quote-unquote stone age. Now, Iran has responded, and obviously they have earlier as well said, and they stated that welcome to hell when the troops were in fact being deployed to the region. So, Group Captain Jha, I want to get your understanding. Do you believe what are the cards that are open for the US at this point in time if they want to exit the war, have an honorable exit in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Well, good afternoon to all your viewers. Trump, sometimes he speaks something that he mesmerizes the world or surprises the world. Just yesterday he had mentioned that he is ready to pull back, and he had mentioned that he will leave the Gulf of Hormuz, as such closed, and with that he was intending that he will take his troops back and leave the Gulf of Hormuz as it is. And in the night, or he has mentioned there, it is before all of us. So we often wonder what exactly it means. Look, the war was started by America, and they had started with an objective which was not very well, clarified. It was not clear to most of us whether he wanted the regime change, whether he wanted to take out the nuclear element from the Iran, whether he wanted to decimate the Iranian armed forces or IRGC, whether he wanted the regime changes, what he wanted, it's just not clear. And what he has achieved, he mentioned that he has largely achieved his target. So what is that target? 4 or 5 days back, he had mentioned that he has caused the regime changes. What regime changes he has caused? Earlier it was Khamenei, now it is his son, who is even harder, even more radical than his father. So what regime changes he has caused? He said he has taken out the nuclear threat. Yes, we can understand that most of the nuclear enrichment plant in Iran is today, annulled. It is taken out of the thing. But look, uranium enrichment is done by the technology, and that technology is with the scientists of Iran. So tomorrow when the war stops, those uranium enrichment facilities can come up anywhere, everywhere. So what he has achieved in that? Nothing. Now there is another technology, that is the ballistic missile technology or cruise missile technology. Missile technology is with the scientists or the defense scientists of Iran. Now those scientists are still alive, they are there very much. So tomorrow, after Iran fires all its ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, Again, when it is required, those scientists will come up there and will continue working on that. Right
Right.
now, they have the missiles of the range of about 4,000 odd kilometers that we saw. Diego Garcia was hit by Iranian missile. But
Right.
tomorrow they can have 8,000, 12,000 kilometers, like what North Korea has. So what has Trump achieved in that? Nothing. Yes, one thing Trump has achieved or rather decimated the surface forces in Iran, whether it is
All
the Air
right.
Force, whether it is the air defense system, whether it is the surface navy.
Okay.
I'm only talking of the surface navy.
Right.
I'm not talking of the underwater navy.
Okay.
Underwater
Okay.
he
So,
has one submarine.
Group Captain, we'll discuss about the underwater navy in the next segment that we are bringing. But let me introduce some more information that is coming our way. New visuals are coming in. Israeli Air Force has started reportedly hitting Iran's Mashhad, with fuel depots at the city's airport among the targets. And reports are saying that attacks take place near the Mashhad International Airport. Let me, in fact, also rope in Mr. Srivastav into this discussion. Mr. Srivastav, we are still seeing, fuel depots being targeted by Israel, this time in Mashhad in Iran. I want to understand, sir, because this is my understanding of the speech that US President Donald Trump has given today morning. This is now a no-holds-bar war, because he said that he wants to obliterate Iran. There are no negotiations on the table. There is nothing that the US is looking forward to. They want to make sure that Iran is hit, it's hit hard, and then they will move out and exit from the war. So are we seeing such escalations? Because everything is a legitimate target now, from power infra to energy infra. So obviously, Iran will also now not hold back, Mr. Srivastav.
Yes, absolutely. At this point of time, it's a no holds bar situation, and obviously it's a full-fledged war, and there even civilian infrastructures are not being spared. And the kind of speech President Trump delivered a few hours back, obviously that clearly shows that this entire war is going to be escalated, and there could be a lot of such civilian infrastructure which will be targeted. It will be hit hard by the United States of America and Israel in times ahead. And similarly, Iran will also retaliate with their attacks on various civilian infrastructures in Israel and elsewhere in the West Asian region. So I think this is a very grim situation, certainly, and it appears that there's this kind of talks for having a ceasefire, etc., has now gone on the sidelines, and there are no such indications that both the sides are pursuing any serious negotiations. And I think that is a very unfortunate situation which is prevailing today. And I see that such kind of attacks on civilian infrastructure will rise in times ahead from both the sides, and that will create a lot of very, very severe conditions for the common man, the common person. And obviously that will be a self-defeating kind of step, because as I've been saying, that if you look at the President Trump's statements when he was preparing for this kind of operation, he used to give this argument that people of Iran are suffering, so we want to continue, want to wage this kind of operation against Iranian Islamic regime so as to free the people of Iran. But if civilian infrastructures are being targeted, and energy facilities are being targeted, and electricity facilities are being targeted, other such vital installations are being targeted, which are used by the civilian population, then what will be the state of the people? And obviously they will be go into that kind of a situation what the people of Gaza were in. And world must never forget, and these warring sites must not forget, that what has happened to the people of Gaza, the innocent lives. Most of them were innocent women and children. They lost their lives, and their entire life was devastated rather. So I think if this kind of approach is pursued by both the warring side, I think the situation will be a lot worse for the people of Iran, for the people of Israel too, and other places in the West Asian region. So that is why I say that very unfortunate to say that the wisdom is not prevailing. Both the sides are still having a lot of animosity against each other, and the kind of speech President Trump gave, and it was expected that he might talk about some kind of dialogue and diplomacy path, but there are no such signs in the morning speech, and it appears that the war is going to be getting escalated further, and ultimately the brunt of this war will be faced by the people of that region.
Absolutely, Mr. Srivastava. Some very valid points raised by you over here. We have some more information coming our way. Iran is now calling for an emergency UNESCO meeting after